Guys, it is July, and that means we are halfway through the year. And here at the 107 MMA, we like to do a little midway report, a midway awards show, if you will. So we've got your best male fighter, your best female fighter, fights of the year so far, MVPs, fighters to look out for, and a whole bunch of other shit. Stay right here.
Back to another edition of the 107 MMA. I'm your boy DS, and as always, I'm here with my guy, the one, the only, the fucking squeeziest guy I know, Bam Squeezy, the Dino Bambino. What up, brother?
What up, DS? How you feeling halfway through the year, bro? You feeling good about this UFC year? You feeling shitty? How do you feel?
Man, overall, listen, it's always fun, right? We love this sport. But I would say the quality overall has been a little down this year, but still enjoyable. We've still had some massive moments. We've still had some all-time moments and some all-time fights, right? Like we've had some great moments. No matter how you spin it, man, there's always going to be great shit to latch onto. And I'm choosing to look at it glass half full, even though that's not typically in my DNA. I'm going to still look at it that way. But we'll get into that. I want to discuss that with you at the end of this very episode. But as you guys know, we're here to discuss the mid-year awards, the 107 MMA mid-year awards, dare I say. Before we get into all that, I noticed that you were on live with one of our boys this past week.
Yeah, Charles.
Or actually, like yesterday, yeah. 2 days ago.
Charles Johnson, man. Shout out Energy. He's fighting this weekend. Tomorrow, Dino, we will be dropping, or depends, I guess, on when you're watching this, but we will be dropping the full card breakdown. A bunch of our boys on that card. Of course, Energy, we were on live yesterday. That was pretty cool. He was like running through the mountains in Colorado, doing some super athletic shit as he normally does. Cody Brundage on the card. Energy's fighting Josh Van, who's an our boy as well.
Did you know he was an Olympian? Like, I did not know he was an Olympian.
Who?
Charles.
Yeah, I had no idea. I've seen the Olympic tattoo. I think I don't remember. I think we asked them about it one time.
I thought we talked about it, but I didn't really get the vibe that he was like an actual. He's a fucking Olympian, dude. I thought he was just aspiring to be, but good for him, dude.
Yeah, shout out Energy, baby. That's our boy. And if you guys didn't catch that, it's probably because you're not doing a thing that you should be doing. You know what I'm talking about, Dino?
I think I do, and I think the little scrolling words at the bottom of this page are letting them know what they should do.
Yeah, and that's like and subscribe, right? Press the little thumbs up, ring the little bell. Dino, it's been a while since we had a bell. Let them know what that bell sounds like. Boop. Guys, that's the sound of the bell. That's going to notify you when our videos drop. And going back to the thing I was saying, you're probably not following us on IG, and that's at the 107 MMA, like the thing says.
And you know what?
Bottom.
That might not have been a big deal before, despite the fact that Yuri has followed us since we had about 42 followers. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. Let's not talk about what happened to him recently. We don't have to get into all that. But we're really blown up. We're really finally blown up a little bit on IG. We have a reel with almost 2.9 million plays at this point, which is fucking crazy. Never in my life did I think that would happen. Even the we have several over like 30, 40,000 at this point, which is fucking awesome, man. So
they've been kind of popping off. Like we post them and then your phone just starts absolutely going nuts. Like as soon as they get dropped,
it goes nuts.
And then there's the really cool thing, where you open Instagram and we always just have 100 likes, and I guess it maxes out.
It's always the maximum.
I didn't know that.
How about this? I wouldn't have never even guessed that we would find that shit out.
Right, but
you feel me? I just want to give you props, man. You've been killing it with that shit. You've pretty much done all of those by yourself. Unbelievable work. But the people may or may not care about that.
Right.
Anything else you want to jump into? Let's jump into these mid-year awards. This is obviously UFC specific. Just to clarify, we love MMA in general. You watch probably even more of it than I do at this point. But we're talking about the main organization. This is really what this channel is about. So let's get into it, man. Let's get right into it. The first one that we're going to... What is that crackling sound? You hear that?
It might have been the laptop moving around on my
okay. Anyway, moving on. Fight of the year, man. Let's start right with it. We're going to save the male-female fighters of the year towards the end, but let's start with a big one right off the bat. Fight of the year. Dino Bam Bam, what is the fight of the year for 2024? To the halfway point, obviously. We're not nowhere close
Right.
done with the year. We're going to do an end of the year awards, just so everybody's clear on that. But this far, about halfway through the year, what is your pick for fight of the year?
Yeah. So thus far, right? For me, Dino, this was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, there was a couple fights in contention for me, and I'm sure we'll get into a couple of those. I don't want to steal your thunder. But your choice was one of my finalists as well. But for me,
Was it?
man,
I was going to ask you about that.
yeah, great fight. I mean, it's on the short list for sure. But for me, guys, it's our boy, the guy that follows us on Instagram, who didn't have the greatest last week. My boy Yuri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic at UFC 300. Obviously, UFC 300, event of the year so far, and I know that's not a thing that we have.
Oh, we should have done that card of the year, but I think let's cover it right now. Goes without even fucking saying. And I think that's a universal sweep for everyone. UFC 300 is card. That's probably why we didn't do it.
Right. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Nothing is going to match UFC 300.
And the fact that the hype, like the actual action, matched the hype, and that how rarely do you get that? Like, I'm prepared to be disappointed in life in most situations. So to get to get this much hype between, all the talk, Dana, everything that Dana said, and then that hype ass video he put out after, unbelievable.
Yeah, unreal card, unreal fight, man. Yuri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic. You got to think about this, in a couple of ways, right? It was Yuri coming off of a loss, trying to get active, trying to get back in the win column. Alexander Rakic coming off of a loss and a long layoff due to an injury.
And both coming off injuries too. I know Yuri had one fight immediately after his injury, obviously the first Peloton fight, but man,
yeah,
I mean, he wasn't long removed from quote the worst shoulder injury of all time.
I'm saying, right? So 2 guys coming off of injuries, 2 guys coming off of losses, and Dino, 2 guys that have been wanting to fight each other for a long time, and we finally got it in a little bit of a weird situation. And me being a huge Yuri Prochazka fan, a very a nervous feeling for me going into that fight. But holy shit, Alexander Rakic looked really damn good in that first round. He was putting it on Yuri. He was cracking him with leg kicks. The headshots were landing hard, and Yuri just was taking them. And it felt like Yuri's about to go soon because you can't take too many of those shots from Alexander Rakic. But Yuri, like the goddamn warrior he is, kept with it, man, and eventually got himself a nasty finish, a nice flurry at the end of that, a nice sequence to finish the fight, I should say. Absolute barn burner, absolute banger, back and forth, a little bit of a comeback. That's my fight of the year so far. We're going to need something special to top that for me.
Yeah, listen, man, that would have been my pick too. And just off the bat, unless it's like obvious to the point where
yeah,
you know exactly where I'm going with this. Unless it's obvious to the point, like UFC 300, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like it's obvious. It's like I would be making shit up if I picked anything else besides that, right? And I wouldn't be staying true to myself and to the channel and to the fans of the channel. But yeah, I fully agree with you, man. That was like, it's for me when it comes to fight of the year, right, or moment of the year, or even knockout to some extent. It's all about the feeling, right? And the feeling that that was invoked in me, seeing Rakic back, and I always thought he was a scary ass dude. Seeing Yuri, who we both love, obviously, huge our boy, no matter how you slice it. And then again, man, and we won't get into like what's wrong with Yuri and all this shit, but like we saw like the issues with Yuri in that fight, right? He takes too many shots. He's too open. He takes too many leg kicks and all this stuff. And he was losing, man. He was getting not just losing, he was getting hurt bad. So to see that and then to see him come back in violent fashion was unbelievable, man. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and that was when I was watching by myself. So that just goes to show you the emotional impact of a fight like that. So just wanted to touch on that. My pick, I mean, listen, let's be real, right? Gaethje Holloway. I'm not, that's not my pick, but I'm saying like a lot of people would have picked that fight, right? But to me, it was fairly one-sided if you really think about it, right? Holloway kind of had that fight in the bag the whole time. So to me, I can't really pick that one. What I'm going to pick is I'm going to pick Whitaker versus Costa, man. I thought that was an unbelievable fight. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I'm a huge fan of both of those guys. Whitaker a little bit more. I was cheering for him. He took that head kick. it was pretty much nonstop action back and forth. It wasn't like the highest pace fight, but man, it kept you on your toes. It was a close decision. We saw a version of Costa that I want to see more. He kind of regressed in his next fight after that, I would argue. But seeing Whitaker after a loss come back and beat a dangerous fighter like Costa was unbelievable. For me, the added bonus was I was watching it on my phone in fucking Dubai and just tweaking balls at like 8 a.m. just like shook as fuck. So, yeah, unbelievable. I'm glad Whitaker won. It was a great fight overall. I'm glad that you mentioned, because I wasn't sure you would if you would have that as highly as I did. But let's be real. There hasn't been any real true like back. I guess the most back and forth fight has been Strickland versus Duplessis, right? Like that was like,
yeah. I mean,
right?
100%.
That's another contender.
And honestly, there was three honorable mentions for me, right? And it was Dricus Duplessis and Sean Strickland back in January. And it was obviously Max and Gaethje at UFC 300. And then the third one, which is, God damn it, it's escaping my mind right. Oh, Islam and Dustin Poirier. Those were the other three on my list. And I don't think that fight was as good as a lot of people think it was. But just the feeling that fight invoked was big. You know what I'm saying?
The feeling and the fact that Islam seemed in his he seemed like an impenetrable fighter up until that point.
Right. And it's kind of the effect, not so much to the extent of Volk Islam won, but it was a little bit of that, right? It was Islam doesn't look like he's human. Nobody's going to mess with this guy. And then here comes Dustin Poirier and he makes it somewhat close, right?
I would argue there were more like one-off moments in the Poirier fight though, where he looked genuinely like he might be weaning, right? Whereas,
I mean, Islam looked worse. To me, I think this was Islam Makhachev's worst performance. I think the staph infection had a lot to do with that.
I also think in a way he almost like was over-respecting Poirier because you know why? Because Khabib has so much respect for Poirier.
And it could be that, Dino. It could be, it could be the over-respect. It could be the staph infection. Could be other injuries we didn't know about. But whatever it was, that was not Islam Makhachev that I was watching, or that's not the Islam Makhachev I'm used to that we were watching that night. To me, anyways, a lot. And then you have the whole Dustin Poirier storyline with the shine bright like a diamond, and that was one of the
bright like a diamond.
What a time, you know what I mean? So that fight was close for me. Dricus and Sean Strickland, probably the closest, most back and forth, weirdly scored fight. Some people had it 5-0 for Dricus. Some had it 4-1 for Sean Strickland. Some people are certain it was 3-2 either way. So, yeah, I mean, those are the fights of the year. We've had some bangers. I'm hoping something dethrones these fights and, we get a better one.
Yeah.
Optimism.
Yeah,
half glass full, baby.
Yes, sir. By the way, at the end of the year, I want to do more categories like upset of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure that I don't forget to mention that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Let's move on unless you have anything else to add on that. Cool. Let's move on. Storyline of the year. And what is storyline of the year, right? Storyline of the year is not any specific fight or anything. It's just generally the news, right? Whatever's been trending in the news. I think it speaks for itself, right? The storyline of the year, whatever has captivated the MMA audience of the world. And I guess I'll go first on this one if that's all right with you.
That's how we got it planned out here, Dino. That's how the list goes, baby.
That's how we do it, baby. For me, man, it's just Alex Pereira in general, just as a human being. The dude's fucking terrifying. The dude is a star. First of all, to come in and speak almost no English, right? To start, and then have learned English, which I commend him for. And I'm not one of those guys that's like, fucking learn English, bitch. Like, I'm a goddamn immigrant myself. English was my third language. So by no means am I saying that. But to be consistent, first of all, to come in, not a ton of MMA experience whatsoever, come in and have the Adesanya stuff. And I know that wasn't this year, but then even this year, man, he really took a step up this year. He defended his belt. He has saved he's saved cards, bro. He has saved cards, right? He's out here consistently finishing people. We've never seen him come out flat. You can say what you want, right? He's never fought a grappler, and I agree with that. I'm not saying any of that. But we're talking about facts, and we're talking about the past here, right? We're talking about things that have happened in the last 6 months, right? So the performances that he's put on, the aura, right? Aura is a big thing with the kids nowadays. They're talking about plus. There's no plus nothing. This guy is maxed out aura category, right? His aura stat is completely maxed out. The entrances, the stare down with Yuri, I think just Alex Pereira in general is the storyline of the year for me, man. Unbelievable. Like, what is there to say? To make weight, to take fights with Connor Polk. We were supposed to see Connor, right? Yeah. And why didn't we? Because he had broken toes. And Alex Pereira fought with what? Broken toes. And then just for good measure, shattered a few more off of Yuri's skull. Unbelievable performances, man. Unbelievable balls, like the gall, the sheer just aura of this man is my storyline for the midway point.
Yeah, Dino, look, I 100% agree with you. I'm choosing another thing, but I mean, Alex Pereira is the talk of the MMA world right now. And I'm not even talking about the in-cage performance, right? So I have a feeling we're going to talk about that a little later on, a little foreshadowing for you guys. We're going to talk about some of the in-cage work with Alex Pereira. But yeah, man, he's become the biggest star in the promotion. And anytime I say that, take it with a grain of salt and, exclude Conor McGregor. But dude, I mean, everything, right? Like you said, the walkouts and the whole Chama situation. And, he's funny on social media.
He's got charisma, bro. He's weird. Like a guy that says so fucking little, bro. Like, how are you that charismatic? And like, it's not an accident. He's doing it on purpose. You can tell. Like, he's growing into it and he's leaning into it. And I commend him so hard for that. Even if he doesn't speak the language that well, he understands why he's loved. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that makes all the difference.
And look, he is charismatic. He's a fun character, and that's why people are drawn to him, man. We both have a lot of friends that aren't really diehard UFC or MMA fans in general, but they're all interested in Alex Pereira, right? They all want to find out what's going on with him, who he's fighting next, when's he fighting. So look, the whole Chama stuff, the videos with Nina, the social media is amazing. The
contrast of how fucking scary he is on fight night and in the cage, and what great comedic timing he has outside of it. Like, dude, that's unbelievable, man. He is just unbelievable.
And like I said, he is the talk of the MMA world, even when a fight's not booked, right? Like, we just got done with UFC 303. He retained his title, beating his second former champion of this year in that division. And the talk again is about Alex Pereira, because it's about that guy coming over from Glory Kickboxing, the guy who beat him last time out, and people wanting to see that fight. So look, man, I mean, Alex Pereira he's the talk of the town. He is the storyline of the year, but I'm going to move to a close second, and that's the Conor McGregor Michael Chandler saga, man. I have the poster of the card that never was right back here. Look,
I remember I was going to steal it for you on the spot, and you told me, like, no, be an adult. Right. You're going to get kicked out of this bar.
Don't do that. But we said it here at the 10-7 MMA a year ago, over a year ago at this point. We've been saying this fight's never going to happen. But man, like, it's just the week in, week out fucking bullshit drama that we're getting from this, right? You have Michael Chandler. Sometimes it seems like he's just begging for the fight to happen. Sometimes it looks like he's lying to himself and he's trying to be overly optimistic. Then he had like the cryptic ass, weird ass tweets when this fight was falling apart. Then you have pictures of Conor just getting his dick sucked on a boat, like not giving a fuck. So just like
absolutely obliterated, making movies and shit.
I'm saying, so just the complete, the contrast of where these guys are in their lives. And it's just like damn near every week we get, a little bit of bullshit breaking news about this fight. Like Conor's back in camp. Chandler's, fucking doing this. Oh, Conor's doing this, and he's out. And it seems like every 5 to 6 days, we get a new story about this. I still don't think the fight happens. I don't know if Conor fights again. I think if he does, it's not Mike Chandler.
Yeah. And I've been saying this from the Chandler fight I like, but I personally would rather see him fight Nate Diaz. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, you know what I mean? And I kind of have a feeling that might happen. So imagine Diaz and Conor in the sphere. So
yeah, I mean, it would be fun. It would be fun for sure. Anyone with Conor is a big fight. But really quick, Dino, couple honorable mentions.
No, wait, just real quick.
Okay.
I'm sorry, bro. I just wanted and I'm sorry. We're going a little longer already than we intended to, but it's just fun to talk about this with you.
Yeah.
This your pick, Conor Chandler. That's the most obvious pick, I think. It's what's been holding. We've been on bated breath, fucking waiting. It was made, it was canceled, it was made, it was canceled. It's coming this way, it's coming this way. It's fucking now it's the Sphere potentially. Like, so it's it's because of Conor, but this is what's dominated headlines the most. I'm personally just fucking sick of it.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Shit, but it has consumed us as a community. I feel like the diehards kind of are just like, you know, they're all really over it. They never really believed in it. But it's like the people that aren't quite like your full diehard MMA UFC fans that like they want to see Conor McGregor, man. You got to think, Dino, since the pandemic boom of 2020, like how many times has Conor been in the cage? Twice?
Yeah.
And it's been a couple of years, man. Think about since UFC 264 when we were there. We're at UFC 303. That was the last card. By the way, we're 97 cards away from UFC 400. But hey, that's around that's like 40 something cards, right? That's around 40 cards, and that's generally one per month. It's been fucking years, is what I'm trying to say, since Conor McGregor's fought. And there's a whole bunch of new fans that have come in that time that have never gotten to experience a Conor McGregor fight. So I get it. You could be a diehard fan of this sport who's been watching every damn card for the last 2.5, 3 years, and you've never seen Conor McGregor live.
Yep.
So I get it, dude. I get it. You know, it is what it is. I'll be excited if the fight happens, and if not, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath, man, and I really don't give a fuck. I'd like to see Conor again, but I don't expect to, you know?
Yeah, there it is.
Let's move on.
Can we move on to those honorable mentions real quick? We got a couple.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
We got a couple, DS. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is one that, well, this is yours. You ready?
Yeah.
The Igor Severino bite situation. What was that about?
Yeah, that's something that we've never seen before. And I know it's not something that is like, it's not impactful. It's not something that, you know, it's not going to change the course of anything, right? But it's something that we've never seen before. So I think it's at least worth mentioning.
It was cool. He had the tattoo of the bite mark. Just some funny shit that was kind of going around. Here's another one, man. About a month ago or around that time, MMA Guru, shout out Guru, dropped a video exposing Dana White being in bed with Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia. And that kind of took the MMA community by storm, man. This was another
I don't think Guru needed to drop it, bro. We saw Dana White fucking holding hands with this motherfucker.
Right. And we saw that. And this is something that me and you have been pretty
And also, don't take your own fucking credit away, bro. Like, you guys may or may not believe it if you're watching this, and I'm sure some of you will, but I have texts to prove it. You fucking told me that over a week before Guru posted that video that you wanted to basically talk about that.
You know, me and you have been on the side through texts, and then even on this channel, we've mentioned it a handful of times, like with the UFC and Abu Dhabi and what the deal is. We all know what it is, man. I truly do believe in it, but it's just interesting to see a lot of the, what's the term? What is it? Like red pill when you're like super woke or like enlightened or whatever. It's nice to see the people that fucking are blue pill. I don't really know the fucking, I'm trying to make
whatever it is.
But those fuckers, it's nice to see the people that aren't really in the know that are like trying to get in the know. It's nice to see like that they're finally starting to see that shit. Because believe it or not, man, the UFC is going the way of boxing. The shit's corrupt. I have the Mark Goddard videos to fucking prove it. And, you know, it just is what it is, man. So corruption is rampant in fight sports. It always has been.
Dino, real quick.
Yeah.
Dana's been hyping up the Sphere. As of a month ago, he had already put 17 million into it. Now we're probably in the mid 20 millions, whatever it ends up being. They showed the first exterior visual of the Sphere, and what is right next to the UFC?
Yeah, Riyadh season.
UFC
Noche presented by Riyadh season.
Exactly, and just weeks after we saw Dana holding hands with this fucker, and you know, so it's just like, if you didn't believe it then, how often has Dana fucking co-promoted anything? The only time that I could think of Dana in the last decade co-promoting anything is what?
Conor and
Conor McGregor, because he knows how much fucking money is involved, and that was like an astronomical amount. It's not Conor McGregor amounts. That's Floyd Mayweather amounts. Floyd Mayweather times Conor McGregor amounts, right? So it made sense why he did that. That is the reason we're not probably seeing Conor anytime soon, right? So that's what made Conor who he is today. That's what's really behind a lot of this, right? So think about how often Dana's done that to co-promote with Riyadh season.
Yeah.
It should tell you something.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it is what it is. It's something that we know about, and the viewers of this channel, if they're avid viewers, they know about it. If they're subscribers and if they like the videos and they watch all of them and they rung the fucking bell, they would know that. But one more,
Also, I
Dino.
just want to talk
Oh,
about the Sphere too. I mean, that's a big storyline in itself.
yeah,
Um,
fair.
and not only that, I'm thinking of putting out a video why I think it's going to be potentially a disaster logistically. The Sphere is not made for 5-6 hour fight events, bro. The
Yeah.
Sphere is made for people to keep getting out of their seats drunk as fuck. So we might put something out about that. One last thing I want to throw out, and this is the wildest one, and you talked about Guru, but John Jones gay.
Look, hey, really quickly before you dive into this,
I'm sorry, your face and the timing of that got my ass.
because look, this is your. I'm not touching this with a fucking 10-foot pole. I'm not touching this with Peyton Talbot's dick. All right.
Yo, but
All
listen,
I'm
bro.
saying.
Did you watch the video?
All I'm saying.
I saw the video 2 months before Guru mentioned anything about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, what the fuck? And I think I kind of just repressed it.
You tell me.
Well, actually, I didn't repress it. I just thought to myself, we're all gay with our boys, like when we're fucking around and whatever, right? Like, that's fine. But then when I saw when Guru posted his video and was breaking down like what like physically was happening, like where hands were and stuff, then I was like, yo, like,
Look, man,
and that's fine. But
yeah, I'm not touching this one.
okay, that's all I got to
It is
say
what
about
it
it. Look into it if you're curious. MMA Guru has a great video about it. Let's move on. We're dragging hard on this. Let's move on to actual fight things, right? And we're talking about first and foremost submission of the year. Dino Bam Bam, take it away, brother. What is your pick through the midway point for submission of the year?
All right, great question, Dino. To me, there hasn't been like a phenomenon. When I think submission of the year, I'm thinking one of two things. I'm thinking either something super damn unique and rare that we don't get to see very often. Think of like the Mighty Mouse flying armbar or whatever.
What about the Twister?
Or a twister, or just something crazy like
By
that.
what's his name? He's fighting this week. Damon Blackshear.
Damon Blackshear's twister that wasn't this year, was it?
Oh, was it?
I don't know, but
maybe you're right. Sorry.
Regardless, that's what I'm thinking. First of all, when I'm thinking sub of the year, but if we don't have anything like super damn unique or super out of nowhere, what do I go to? I go to a submission in a huge moment, which is kind of what you did with last year's sub of the year for you, which was Grasso beating Valentina.
I think that's the category in general, right? It's like if somebody pulled something we've never seen before, and like technically there's something specific that stands out, fine.
Yeah.
But overall, like the gravity of it's like MVP voting, right? It's like It's tough to win MVP on like a terrible team, right? In any sport. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like that, right? Where it's like that technically like the actual technique of it should outweigh it, but the gravity of the moment does obviously affect it.
Right. And you try not to let it, but regardless, it will. So for me, submission of the year, man, it was Islam Makhachev beating Dustin Poirier in the 5th round at UFC 302. First and foremost, just the way he set it up, that takedown. He was holding Dustin's leg, like just a phenomenal takedown, the way he set it up. And then to just get DP out of there, man, for the 3rd time in a title fight, it was like poetry. After it was Islam Makhachev not looking like the dominant force that we thought he was. Just a phenomenal submission from a phenomenal fighter who excels in submissions, man. It shouldn't have come as a surprise. I know you had bet Islam by sub. Yeah, I know you had bet Islam by sub. Just like Islam by sub round 5 was fucking bananas to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I won a nice parlay that
you did.
I think I did, right? Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yep. Oh, that was the one that hit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I obviously I knew you were gonna pick that, so I went with Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez in their second fight. And again, kind of the gravity of the moment, right? Yair Rodriguez was beating the fuck out of Brian Ortega. Well, I wouldn't say beating the fuck, but in their first fight, he was really like putting it on him, and it looked like Ortega was not looking so good, man. It looked like he was getting ready to lose that fight. And then obviously he hurt his shoulder, and that was all she wrote. So then for him to come back and we get the rematch, and Yair, looks pretty good the first round, and then for Ortega to just kind of step up, man, and all the shit leading up to it, right? Like the philosophical Ortega that we saw.
Yeah.
And then to end up getting that win when nobody really was picking him to do that, people were really writing off Brian Ortega. And I know of all people, I mean, I know you're big time on the Ortega train. If you watch this channel, all the things that you've said about him recently, I can't disagree with it. So for me, the gravity of that, it wasn't a special choke, right? It was an arm triangle choke. But to get a finish in that rematch, coming off an injury, coming off all the shit that he's been through, being written off, that was a big moment for me.
Another thing with that fight, Dino, that people forget, Brian Ortega like rolled his ankle pretty damn bad right as the fight was about to start. When
Yep.
Bruce Buffer was like calling him out, he was hyping himself up and jumping, and he rolled the fuck out of his ankle. So
he did. Low key,
yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, shout out T-City. That was phenomenal, man. I know, I have a feeling we're going to get a better sub for sure before the end of this year is over.
This is one of those that's not a super strong contender right now. Neither one. I expect better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So shout out Islam and Brian Ortega. They're our award winners for sub of the year so far.
Let's go. All right, moving on to the next category. This is a big one. This is a fan favorite. We're talking about KO of the year. I'll go first on this one, man. And in a way, it hurts me to say this, right? But I got to go with Alex Pereira again. It was the shit talking of Jamal Hill. And I don't think there was a bigger Jamal Hill fan that I know other than me. Like, I mean, you know that. Like, if you watch this channel, you know that. So I wasn't mad at him for losing. I was mad at, like, he was being kind of weird leading up to the fight, but I get it. Like, fuck it. You know, talk your shit, all that. But since then, like, maybe that's why it's more monumental for me. Is like, Jamal Hill's really fallen off for me as a fighter. Like, I've lost respect for him. All the coping that he's been doing. But for me, listen, your pick, and I know what it's going to be. It's the better knockout, right? And again, Gaethje Holloway is probably the best knockout. And let's be real, there's a reason that neither of us picked Gaethje Holloway is because we're picking it. We're going to talk about it down the line, let's say, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's other contenders, obviously, but for me, the most impactful, and I think it's part of the reason is because Alex Pereira is such a big storyline, is that knockout of Jamal Hill, man, right? I mean, it's like the seconds leading up to it, right? Getting kicked in the nuts, being like, and then just fucking, it looked like nothing, right? And it wasn't an out cold knockout. There's better knockouts again, but it's everything together for me. That's why I'm going with it. And even if it was against my boy. At this point, I'm a bigger Alex Pereira fan than Jamal Hill, and I think, that fight and the aftermath of that fight is what swung it for me, right? So it was very impactful for me. Alex Pereira is so humble, and to see him celebrate like he did, obviously that was a huge moment too. And you know, the card that it was on, I think probably added to it too. So being the main event of UFC 300, closing out that crazy ass card, added even more to it. So I'm going with Alex Pereira dropping Jamal Hill with a left hook. And that legendary celebration.
Yeah, Dino, look, I totally understand it. And like you said, the gravity of that moment, much bigger than the one I'm going to talk about in a second here. But yeah, I mean, Alex Pereira knocking out a guy like Jamal Hill, who we've never seen lose besides the one time getting his arm broken, right? It was shocking. It was shocking to see him make it look so damn easy. It was a shocking end to what was one of the best cards we've ever seen, potentially the best card we've ever seen. Absolutely crazy, considering it almost felt as if that main event was overshadowed, right? Like throughout the build up to UFC 300, it was like, yeah, they're the main event, but everyone kind of had their own main events in that fight, right? Or in that card. A lot of people were saying Max and Gaethje was their main event, like the people's main event. Then you had, I'm sure in China, Wei Li was the fucking main event. I'm a huge Yuri and Charles Oliveira fan, so for me, those two felt bigger. Aljamain Sterling, like everyone kind of had their dogs in at UFC 300. He just ended it with a blast, and the emote was absolutely crazy. But for me, the actual knockout of the year, stylistically and whatever, it's Vinicius Oliveira, man. Loke Dog versus Bernardo Sopai on the Rosenstrike versus Gaziev card, which was a fucking disaster of a main event. But look, man, Vinicius Oliveira, him and Bernardo Sopai, who was taking this fight on short notice, his UFC debut. The kid had a lot of hype, man. I know another one of our boys, Dennis Bazukia, was hyping him up. They're both Albanian, so he was like super excited for this kid. He's like, this guy's a future champion. He looked good on film, man. He looked dangerous. He looked good in that fight until he started.
I didn't think that much of him, but hey.
But hey, I'm just saying he looked solid in that fight. And then you could really tell he hit a wall when he started to gas. And that's basically what happened. The referee could have ended that fight literally minutes before the ending happened. So he just kind of let this kid suffer. Then he let this kid take a brutal flying knee. That was the stuff of legends, like knockout of the year type shit. I wouldn't be surprised,
bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it wins knockout of the year. It was an absolute all-timer. I just want to mention a couple more knockouts. I mean, you mentioned what did you just mention? I'm sorry. You mentioned fuck it. I lost it.
I mentioned
Holloway and Gaethje. Holloway and Gaethje, unreal. It hurts to say.
That's the pick. Overall, that's the pick, right? I mean,
that's the people's pick, obviously, with the moment and whatnot. But another one that has to be mentioned, and I hate to say it, was Ilya Topuria just flatlining Volk, man. That shit hurt me like deep, deep in the soul, but a fucking nasty combo. Just sweet boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other ones you want to talk about? Because I got like two more quickly. I
mean, Poirier Saint-Denis.
Poirier Saint-Denis was a big one, man.
Poirier was losing that fight.
What is it?
Poirier was losing that fight, and he was an underdog, shockingly.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, Uncle Ivan Walker, or Johnny Walker in general. Johnny Walker and Volkan Ozdemir. Like, anytime Johnny Walker's in there, you got potential for him getting knocked the fuck out of the year, or him getting knockout of the year.
Of the year, because he got the ragdoll physics on, brother.
I'm just saying, hey, so at the end of the year, when we do our full award show for the year, should we do knocked the fuck out of the year?
Yeah, like the goofiest knockout animation of the year.
What is this about? I mean, Johnny Walker is a fucking lock for that.
It's either him or like Kennedy Nzechukwu randomly.
Right, just Kennedy just walking, gets breathed on, slumped. Like what? I don't know. Shout out,
all right. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
Let's move on. This next one's going to be quick, man. Moment of the year. What does that mean? That means it's not a specific fight. It's not a specific submission. It's not a specific. It's literally just moment of the year. It could have been something at a press conference. It could have been a finish. It could have been whatever. And we've alluded to it already. And let's be real. We already know what this one's going to be. And you tell me.
Yeah, it's the last few seconds of Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. Dino, we have the reel on our Instagram of the the cool little music mashup that we did. I mean, it's from Gaethje.
If you guys haven't seen that, go fucking watch that. My God,
that shit's fire. I ain't gonna cap, it's fire. But Gaethje hit, trying to hit like the rolling.
That's the best edit of that I've seen, and everybody made an edit.
Yeah, it's great. So not to toot my own horn, but go check it out. D107 MMA on IG. But yeah, Gaethje hits the rolling thunder. He obviously misses. He's fucking exhausted. His nose is shattered. Max is winning this fight on points. And what does Max Holloway do, Dino? He does the fucking Max Holloway shit, which is now his logo. The point down, like, let's fucking go at it. Justin Gaethje won to never be a bitch. He's about that life. Let's get it. And just that flurry, dude, ending in a fucking unreal knockout for Max Holloway.
In the last second.
Literally the latest knockout in UFC history. Unbelievable.
And to do it when he's up, bro. And to be the guy moving up a weight class. And against such a guy that's so fucking, like, okay, like, if he did that against, like, a fucking jiu-jitsu ace, you wouldn't feel the same way. To do it against fucking Justin Gaethje, probably the most dangerous power puncher in the division, up a division, unbelievable, man.
And Dino, I know you're a big fan of both of these guys. You probably lean a little more Max Holloway, towards Max Holloway than Justin Gaethje, but how can anyone not fucking love Justin Gaethje? I mean, he's like, these are two guys, Dino, that are your favorite fighters. And just to see Gaethje willing to go out on his shield like that, and Max willing to have the balls, like you just said, to just do that with Justin Gaethje. Fucking bananas. They stole UFC 300. They literally stole the show.
I was sweating, my boy. I was sweating.
And it was a little heartbreaking. It was a little sad to see Justin Gaethje go down like that. It was
because he just ate Matt like that, but man.
Like, did he need to? Like, did it need to happen? Like, if that punch doesn't land, Max wins by points, but we
I
don't
know,
get.
but that might be the all-time moment of the UFC. How about that? That might be the all-time greatest single 10 seconds of the UFC.
Yeah, there's nothing. I'm hoping there is, but I can't imagine anything beating this out at the end of
Oh
the
no,
year.
we're gonna talk about this at the end of the year, and I'll put my fucking balls on it.
Yeah. So
anyway, moving on.
oh, Dino, if it doesn't win the moment of the year, me and you are going to do a 10-second flurry. Point down. We're going to put it on IG.
I'm down.
Let's go.
Down.
Let's go. That's right.
Done. You heard it here first. Sorry. Wait, with headgear?
Headgear and 16-ounce gloves and just fucking wail, brother.
Nah, no headgear.
All right, 16-ounce gloves, just wail.
I'm trying to get slept if I need to get slept, bro. I'm due for one. Anyway, moving on. Let's get to the female MVP, female fighter of the year, whatever you want to call it. I'll go first, I guess.
Yeah.
For me, man, nobody deserves it. Nobody deserves it. No woman deserved it in the UFC this year. I'm not being sexist. It's just simply I wasn't impressed with their performance for anybody. Not a single one of them. If I had to pick somebody, I would pick who you're picking. If Macy Barber ended up fighting Rose and winning, I probably would have picked her. But there's just nobody. Like, who am I gonna pick? Fucking Raquel Pennington? Like,
right? Like
that
Manon
fake ass title fight. But like, that means nothing to me. So for me, I'm not giving out an award at the midway point for the female fighters. I want to see them step up. We're gonna get to second half fighters to look out for in a little bit, and a lot of females are in that. And so I have some in there, obviously, and I'm excited for some fights. I'm excited for Tracy Cortez versus Rose this coming up weekend, man. But for me at this point, I haven't seen enough. Like, that's all.
And that's fair. And I respect that you did that. I didn't know we could do that, but I'm down. When you told me that, I was like,
I didn't either, but I was looking through it and just nothing stuck out,
Well, and I'll tell you guys why. And I'm gonna reveal the name here before I talk about her. It's Zhang Wei Li for me.
And that's that's the only person that kind of deserves it, but she fought one time.
So that's what I was gonna get to, Dino, right? The reason that you don't want to pick a female MVP, and I kind of agree with you, is because none of the top dogs in women's MMA in the UFC, anyways, have fought multiple times yet. Or, if they have, they've lost, right? Like Raquel Pennington, yes, she became a world champion. She got herself a finish. That was in January. She hasn't fought since. We don't even have close to fight news with Raquel.
But name one dominant women's performance, at like in the higher levels. I'm not going to pick a random,
Exactly, right. You're not just going to pick some lady who made her UFC debut and won 30-27 and kicked some other girl's ass. Right. Like, I get it. So you can't really give it to Raquel Pennington. You can't give it to Rose, right? You can't give it to maybe Kayla Harrison. She came in, she was dominant, but again, that was one fight against the very old Holly Holm. We haven't seen Juliana Pena. Mayra Bueno Silva's been struggling. She's 0-2 on the year. Macy Chasson didn't deserve the win that she just got. So it's weird. It just is what it is. They've all fought once, and the ones that have won, you just got to do a little more. But for me, Dino, was Wei Li at UFC 300. She had herself a first-round finish that the referee didn't stop. Her opponent woke up after literally being put out, and that fight should have been stopped then. But for Wei Li to deal with that, go through that adversity where she thought she had her finish, get absolutely exhausted in that fight, and have zero energy remaining, and still come out on top was the stuff of legends to me. Honestly, it was the grittiest performance I've seen all year from a woman's fighter for sure.
And that's why I got to. Did you say that?
No. What is that?
Versus Yan Xiaonan.
Yeah, versus Yan Xiaonan at UFC 300. Sorry,
I just want to make sure we mention her name. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and Yan, another one of those ladies. Like, if she had won this fight, she would have been the female fighter of the year for sure for me. But just is what it is, man. Wei Li, one of the all timers in women's MMA, to be honest, already. And a great performance at UFC 300, considering she looked really tired and spent and exhausted for much of that fight, yet showed the grit and fucking tenacity to pull it off. Shout out Wei Li.
She's top 3 for me all time as far as women's MMA.
I agree. I love her, man.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Male fighter of the year. Dino, take it away.
Yeah, so the male MVP, surprisingly enough, is not MVP. It's not Michael Venom Page. I know he's a guy and he's a male named MVP, but it's not him.
He's
There
the
is,
only one.
yeah, he's the only one that I know. Unless D Rose. Remember D Rose? They used to shout MVP when he was at
Oh
the
my
free throw
god,
line.
dude!
Great times.
Don't do that right now.
Wow,
Now
that's
we
the
got fucking Festus Ezeli. What's his name? We just drafted Bazelis.
yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Anywho, but yeah, look, I mean, this one is a no-brainer, man. It's Alex Pereira, Dino. Yes, there has been some great performances in the UFC this year. There has been some champions who have retained their belt. There has been some new champions like Dricus Duplessis, who we mentioned the fight with him and Sean Strickland earlier this year. A great fight. Some would argue Sean Strickland could be on this list. A lot of people think he won that fight. Then he went out and dominated Paulo Costa. But Dino, it's Alex Pereira, man. UFC 300, the nasty knockout that we were talking about earlier over Jamal Hill. And then this fight versus Yuri, man, kind of just made one of the most dangerous, scary fighters in the world look not all that, dude. And it's Alex Pereira. And he's a lock for this award at the end of the year if he defends his belt one more time successfully. If he loses, there might be some questioning it. But you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one that, again, it's too obvious. We have to agree on it. I've said enough about it. I have nothing else to say about Alex Pereira. Everything that I've said thus far stands true. He is the clear front runner for me. The only other guy I guess I would consider even at all, and he's a distant second for me, is Ilia Topuria. Winning it off of Volk in dominant or in shocking and tremendous fashion at minimum, right?
Yeah.
I guess
I
you
want
could
to add something to that, Dino. I'm sorry to cut you off. So with Ilia Topuria, we have to mention the way he was talking leading up to that card. Like he knew he was
it
going to
was
win.
all or nothing.
Yeah, it was just a matter of time. He was doing that whole thing. The reason I cannot put Ilia Topuria on this list is he's become such a little asshole since winning the
Exactly.
belt.
And he doesn't want to fight anybody.
That's it, right? So I know you called it Fighter of the Year. We called it male MVP for for the show's purposes. But an MVP, man, a lot goes into it, right? And it's like, that's not MVP performance. That's not BMF performance. Like, you're just being a little asshole. You're being a little inactive asshole. And, maybe if he goes out there and he flatlines Max Holloway and Alex Pereira ends up losing to Ankalaev or goes up and fights the winner of Aspinall Blades and loses that fight, maybe the fighter of the year ends up being Ilia Topuria. But I'm going to struggle with that just because he's been such a little cocksucker.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
So
fully agree with that. All right. Our last and final category for these mid-year awards at the 107MMA. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, follow us on Instagram at the 107MMA and on TikTok, I guess. Fighters to look out for the second half, right? I'll go first. One of them's fighting this weekend, Tracy Cortez, man. I believe in her. She's sexy. That's all good, right? I'm not talking about that. If she beats Rose, dude, she is on the fast track to a title at this point. And I don't want to ruin the breakdown that we're going to do soon, but I would pick her against Rose personally if it wasn't for the altitude. Denver is about 1,000 fucking feet higher in the air than Salt Lake City. We've seen what Salt Lake City can do to people, even people with good cardio. So for me, Rose trains in high altitude. She trains in Denver with Trevor Whitman. Wait, no, she's not with Trevor Whitman.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
I don't know if she still is, but
yeah, maybe not. But whatever. We'll get into all that. But Tracy Cortez, man, absolutely somebody to look out for. If she wins this, absolutely. But even if she doesn't, right? If it's a close fight and it's competitive, I still have high hopes for her. I think people forget just because of her looks sometimes that she is a really, really good fighter. Do you want me to go through the rest of my picks?
let's just go down the list. Like I got them here. You ready?
All right, yeah, go for it.
All right. And this isn't one that we have to touch on too much, but Tatiana Suarez really quickly. And Dino, I like what you said, right? It's if Tracy Cortez wins this next week, she's one to look out for. A lot of these are kind of that situation. But Tatiana Suarez, man, I don't think she has a fight booked as of now. I know she's been injured, but I've been high on Tatiana Suarez forever, man. I do think she is a future.
She's always
champion.
injured, though, man. She's always injured. That's the thing.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate. But look out for her. I do believe she will fight by the end of this year. I think she wins. She gets herself a title shot.
Yeah, I think the UFC is ready to put her there, and I think she deserves it. And I think if she gets there, she's going to win it.
Yeah, and that would be the first time that I could think of that we would have a couple as world champions. If Patchy Mix were to retain his world title in Bellator, she would be the UFC champion. That'd be cute.
Yeah, that is pretty cute.
And they're just walking down their fucking wedding aisle with championship belts. That's sick.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
who's next?
This is yours that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, I'm really high on both these guys. Obviously, JDM has like the perfect boxing and 1-2s and the skill set to maybe cause Shavkat problems. I would still choose Shavkat in this. He's undefeated. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's got great stand up. He's unbelievable on the ground. He's so well rounded. He's maybe the most well rounded fighter in the UFC right now. I wish he was a little bit more active at this point, right? I kind of wish we saw him a little bit more. But the winner of this fight has serious championship potential.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're both already title contenders in a way, right? Like, I mean, this is the next generation of 170. We're experiencing that with these guys and Ian Gary, to be honest, right? But yeah, the winner of this fight probably, I mean, they're really close to a title fight. If not, they get Ian Gary. And then winner of that.
Exactly. That's a great point. You know, that's a big fight too.
And that's a massive fight. So interested to see how this plays out, man. Shavkat has long been the scary prospect at 170. Jack Della, man, last time out versus Gilbert Burns didn't look great, but found a way to win that fight.
Hold on, I mean, all right, we're good. No, there's like a weird buzzing again, but you're good.
Yeah. So this is a huge fight, especially with 170 being contested for this month later on. Depending on how that fight plays out, you never know. So the winner might get themselves a title shot. I'm going to move on to the next one, Dino. This is one that I'm not too excited to talk about, but Kayla Harrison. I don't love her personality. I don't love her personally. But yeah, Kayla Harrison's a dog, dude. She came through. She beat the shit out of Holly Holm, made her debut at UFC 300. She's right there for a title shot. I see no issue with the UFC throwing her in there with Raquel Pennington. I can see them doing money fights with like her and Juliana Pena, if you can consider that a money fight. But I'd love to see her and Amanda. If Amanda would, come back and do like a female BMF, that'd be badass with these two. Kayla Harrison is going to make some noise. She's loud. She's in your face. She's going to make some noise this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then I got one more here. I don't know if you have one more written down.
I do.
Okay. So let me hit this one and then we'll type yours in. This one's random. He's not on the level of the rest of these guys, but Gene Silva, man, a fucking weird dude, but he goes out there and starches people. I'm not saying this guy is going to be a top 10 fighter or a title contender. Like, I don't believe that. I don't think he ends up in the rankings. And if he does, I don't believe he ends up high in the rankings. But a guy that's put on pretty damn well for himself. He's coming through and he came through and got himself 2 quick finishes, 2 nasty knockouts. He's fun. So imagine if this guy gets himself on a 3-4 fight win streak with 4 knockouts in the UFC, Dino, and he's an in-your-face kind of dude. I could see him making some noise. What's the other one that you had?
I just want to say 2 Silvas, Natalia and what's her name? Corinne, right?
Okay, yeah, Karine Silva.
Karine Silva, yeah.
Look at that. On the spot, Silva people.
Oh shit! There you go.
I had Gene Silva and 2 more Silvas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm high on both of them, man. They look dominant. Yeah, I think they're absolutely somebody to look out for. Norma Dumont, I would throw in there. We'll see what happens, right?
What's all that movement back there?
She's got a fight versus Irani Aldana. That's a huge fight. The winner of that fight, very much poised, obviously, to contend for a championship. Kaya Sakura, the Japanese guy that the UFC just signed. We don't know. He's all right. I don't think he's going to be like super dominant in the UFC, but definitely somebody to look out for. Another guy fighting this weekend, Josh Van. Mario Batista has looked really good. Diego Lopez, obviously, wasn't a dominant win, but, the balls and the gall to take on Dan Ige on such short notice. And props to Dan Ige too. But just some guys I wanted to mention and some gals I wanted to mention.
Yeah, so those are more like prospects, obviously, than like guys at the top. Like, obviously, we're looking for Alex Pereira. We're looking for all of that. Just really quickly touch on a couple of these, what we're looking forward to, right? Dino, a couple things, and this is all just off the top of the head. What I'm looking forward to, I want to see the return of Alexander Volkanovski, man. I'm excited to see what that looks like. Hopefully it's like December, because I don't want to see him coming back any sooner than that if we do get him this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, would love to see what Volk looks like. A little bit of the same with Yuri. Is he going to 85? Is he staying at 205? What does he look like after this fight? That's some of the shit I'm interested in. And then
John
also
Jones,
the return of John Jones.
Connor.
Obviously, massive Connor comeback. And then Charles Oliveira, like just shit like that. I'm interested to see what these guys look like after some losses. And then obviously the return of
And
John
the
Jones.
Sphere.
The Sphere. What else you got? Go ahead. Keep throwing them out there.
No, I mean, the Sphere is like, I think people aren't like giving enough weight to that at this point. I think, the hype will start to grow soon. But for me, yeah, I mean, you have the two biggest fighters in the sport, right? John Jones and Conor McGregor. There's still a potential that we see both of them fight by the end of this year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold my breath for it, but I think those are really the two biggest things. I would love to see it. I've heard some talks of Amanda Nunes. Like, I've seen her tweeting and shit. Like, so maybe there's something there. When there's smoke, there's fire. But yeah, listen, we've had some shitty cards. We've had some absolutely massive cards. So it's been a top-heavy kind of year thus far through the midway point. June was supposed to be kind of a pivotal month. It was mostly a bust, sadly. But yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the year, man. Obviously, we'll do an end of the year awards. But just pumped to be here, pumped to keep doing this, and we'll keep cranking out content.
Let's go. And then one last thing I'm looking forward to, Dino. Hopefully, God willing, we get Max Holloway putting Ilia Topuria's ass out. I would love that.
That's like something I would love to see, like more than most things this year.
Yeah, like that. I want to dance on some graves. It's been a tough year for me. I think I texted
it really
you.
Has for you. You've taken a lot of L's.
Taken a lot of L's. Volk hurt. Yuri hurt. It's just like I can't do it. I need that guy to go. I need Izzy to beat Drickus. I need these things. But anyways, guys, I'm looking forward to a fun second half of the year. Overall, Dino, I think this first half was solid, man. I mean, it was. There were really high highs and there were some really low lows. Like we just mentioned, UFC 300 a lot in this card. That's like the extreme high of highs. And then we had the lows of lows. Some of these really shitty fight nights, like I said, Jairzinho and Gaziev. Like, what was that about?
That was awful.
Yeah, and it's like we got some tough fight nights coming up. I love this one tomorrow, but second half should be good, man. Hopefully it's fun. I'm also looking forward to Sugar versus Marab if that happens.
Big
Anyways,
time.
guys.
That needs to happen.
Yeah, that's going to be fun as hell. Anyways, guys, I think we're done here.
We're all good.
Wrong fucking side, per usual. Guys, that right there is DS.
Oh, shit.
He's one half of the 10-7 MMA. I'm DBB, Dino Bam Bam. I'm the other half. Like I said, we're the 10-7 MMA. If you enjoyed, do us a favor. Hit the like and subscribe button. Ring the little bell. Do all that, and then follow us on Instagram at the 10-7 MMA. We got tons of cool pictures with us and fighters. We've gotten in the meme business lately. We're getting millions of views. Every time we go on there, we see this UFC guy liked your photo and this chick followed you, and it's been fun. So anyways, guys, do all that. Here's to the rest of the year, Dino. I don't know if you got a cup. Hey, let's go. What's it? Pellegrino or whatever the fuck that is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.